Akasha is a website that gathers information from players' UIDs, simulates realistic scenarios where characters are being used, and ranks them in their leaderboards. It doesn't take into account your levels, nor your constellations or talents. It technically doesn't even care for your weapon. It's all about the artifacts. This resource is simply an extra tool that can be used to optimize and choose your build. It's also just a fun website to check with friends and other communities. Before moving on, I want to make a point clear. This ranking is not absolute, nor does it really mean much. In fact, my Novilette is not even crowned nor level 90. His artifacts are great, surely, but only in the very specific context the build is put in, and that is the following. A team with Tartaglia for +1 talent level and Hydro Resonance, a full Elemental Mastery Kazuha carrying very decent Benirir, and a Zhongli with Archaic Petra, using a rotation that uses Novilette's entire kit. That's kind of specific, isn't it? How did my Novilette get here? Is it all randomness and luck? Yes, of course it is. But I want to take this video as an opportunity to explain how looking for good artifacts is not as simple as just leveling up the ones that happen to have double crit. And I'm not going to give you the usual talk you probably already know about, like, oh, double crit, go for it, or oh no, it's trash, strongbox it. We're going deeper than that. And I also want to share some tips that you can use to maximize your RNG and luck when it comes down to leveling up artifacts. The number one thing I want you to take away from this video is to stop looking at CV. CV, in case you didn't know, stands for crit value and is equal to crit rate multiplied by 2 plus crit damage. It's a metric that can be used to compare multiple artifacts. It's good to know and decent for rough comparisons, but it's put in too high regard by the community and it's often all people really look at. What makes a really good artifact or a good build is the amount of useful stats present and their quality. Take a look at my Novilette and check his CV. Then check the amount of good rolls he has. As you can see, each artifact not only has some crit, but also HP percentage. If we ignore the energy recharge, which in practical uses you should never do, but for the sake of argument we will go past it today, instead of judging a build based on how much crit it has, we should judge it based on how many good rolls it has. We can see how my Feather, for example, has 4 crit rolls and 4 HP percentage rolls. Even the circlet, which I rolled on stream, had some viewers have a negative reaction to it when it basically only rolled HP percentage. But if you look at the bigger picture, it's actually amazing. It has 6 useful rolls, even being a circlet. And this is even more important when you have more good stats that you can use. Take a look at the number 1 Uta of AP in Akasha. 16 rolls of crit rate, 12 rolls of crit damage, but it doesn't stop here. There are 9 rolls of HP percentage, 5 of Elemental Mastery, and aside from this case, if we took energy recharge into consideration, and honestly even attack percentage and flat HP to a lower importance, they all stack up and go towards one goal, which is increasing your damage. And this is what I try to do with my Novilette. Prioritize HP percentage, as it's huge for him, especially for this specific context, which is a Kazuha plus an Archaic Petra Zhongli. Now with Furina, these rankings, when updated, will probably look very similar, as she does the same, which is provide damage percentage. As I've explained already on this channel, you want to increase all your stats and not focus on one. Your damage is the product of many things. Raising all these many things together is better than focusing on one. Of course, sometimes and very often, one is better than the other, but rarely that much better that you can ignore everything else. To the average player, if I show them these two builds, I guarantee you that a very good person is going to think that the higher CV one is better. But in reality, even casting aside these leaderboards, it is simply not true. A couple more things I want you to keep in mind, then I will share my artifact strategy nowadays. First thing is, Strongboxing has a higher chance compared to domain farming to give you a 4-liner. Many don't know about this, and that is a huge advantage when leveling them up. It's simply 1 extra free +4 compared to a 3-liner. Out of 100 artifacts from domains, 20 will have 4 lines, while getting 100 artifacts from the Strongbox will give you 34 instead with 4 lines. And in case you're wondering, any other way to get artifacts will have this 34% chance. Now, please don't go ahead and strongbox everything. I cannot stress enough to my community how often strongboxing is doing more harm than good if you don't know exactly what you're doing. That Elemental Mastery circlet with trash substats that has been sitting on your inventory for 2 months, please don't touch it. The second point I want to bring in is artifact routes. They can give you around 60k plus artifact XP or more for 10 minutes of your time every day. I have a route on my channel, but you will have no problem finding similar ones online. And for reference, 60k artifact XP is enough to plus 10 a 5-star artifact, or if you stack it, it's a free plus 20 every 4 days on average. As far as my strategy, what I currently do for my artifacts is everything I discussed in this video so far. Plus, I try to ignore only useless flat stats. I don't stop if I see things like defense percentage, attack percentage, HP percentage, but only if I know I can make a use out of them. I also do one more thing, which I think is the one that gives me the most value. I +4 artifacts, especially with 3 lines, just to check their potential, like fishing for double crit or a useful stat that I need, and instead of recycling them for XP, like most people would do, I will still throw them away in the strongbox. Yes, I'm throwing away XP and technically Mora, but I'm maxing out my RNG. I get the most out of everything. I don't throw away pieces with potential, but I will still strongbox with all the trash that I get. Of course, this would not be sustainable without religiously doing artifacts routes every day and actively playing the game. And for context, I also buy the battle pass, but I mostly use those resources to try to max out every character. Now, if this does not apply to you, I totally understand. If you're free to play or a newer player or both, however, I think there is still some trick here that could help you out in deciding how to treat your artifact RNG. All in all, this video just made me realize I try a bit too hard. Also, I know I haven't been very broad with the information presented here, but I just wanted to focus on a couple details, as the more common knowledge on artifact RNG is already out there. So I just wanted to add what I thought was a more niche approach that works for me. If you have any question, feel free to comment below or visit over twitch.tv/7even please and ask me directly. Have a nice day and I'll see you next time.